Having added subdivision and smoothing to roughly half of the geometry pieces that we have here, we're going to use the final exercises for the chapter to finish off this regulator housing. After selecting the insert piece then, let's come into the Modify tab, apply an Open Subdiv modifier, and set this to an iterations value of 2. Now, because of the way in which we created the topology here, the default smoothing looks fairly decent, although we may want to tighten things up a little bit, because if we look at the reference, we can see that this piece has a reasonably sharp transition across the edges. To mimic that a little more, we could jump into Edge mode on our editable poly object, select the edges here, and press Alt-R to grab the ring, and then Shift-click the Connect tool and set it to a value of 2 segments. To increase the pinch amount, we can turn the Show End Result option on so that we can see what we're doing in the viewport. Let's push the edges that we have here quite close to both the top and bottom, and then hit the Apply and Continue button. We can then select one of our top edges here. In fact, let's turn off Show End Result and hit F4 to get our edged faces so that we can see things a little more clearly, and then hit Alt-R to select the ring. Let's isolate the selection so as to make sure that the creasing on the bottom looks okay. In fact, we might as well do the inside here as well, and so holding down the Control key on the keyboard, let's click to select an edge, and then use Alt-R again. And, coming to the Loops panel on the ribbon, Shift-click the Connect tool, and use settings of 2, 82, and 0. To see how things are looking, let's come out of Subobject mode, turn on Show End Result, and if we then press F4, we can see that we're in pretty good shape. Although I would actually prefer this edge chamfer to be really tight, and so let's just jump back into Edge Subobject mode. Select the edges in the middle of the chamfer and press Alt-R. Shift-click to connect those, lowering the pinch value to around about 55, and then press OK. If we exit out of everything now, we can see that this creates a nice, fairly hard transition. We may be worried about seeing faceting on the edge here, and so we can of course always use 3 subdivisions here if we wanted to make things really smooth. With the valve insert taken care of then, all that remains is the tap or valve release that sits at the top of the pile, which of course will be the subject of our final exercise for the chapter.